Now it's time for Culture Talk. This is the segment where we talk about culturally relevant topics that you can use to start conversations about your faith. I am joined today with Derry Tseng. Thank you so much for joining us today, Derry.
Thank you for having me, Sandra.
Yeah, it's going to be a blast. So for our viewers, just so they know who you are the chapter director of Ratio Christi at Portland State, and you're also the regional director of Ratio Christi Pacific Northwest. So thank you so much for joining us. We're going to be talking about a partnership that we have with you, and that is Reasons to Believe coming together with Ratio Christi Portland State chapter for what's called the Identity Conference. So can you tell us about the Identity Conference and what that is?
Yeah, I'm really excited about this. Reasons to Believe approached Ratio Christi and asked if we would like to partner on something that would be of interest to college students. And identity is on the forefront of college students' minds because there's so many conversations in the culture about that now. There's questions about gender and race and all different aspects of identity. And so this was a really important topic. And I was really thankful to be able to have this conference and share that with the views of Reasons to Believe, have them come in with their views as well as Ratio Christi and partner together and talk about this for the students.
I'm really excited. I think it'll be great. So I know your work with Ratio Christi, you're well versed in working with college students and understanding kind of the questions that they have. What are you finding are some of the really common questions that college students are grappling with as they think about their identity?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that for students who are following Christ, I think that they are asking, why is the Christian worldview better able to answer the question of identity than the secular worldview or even other worldviews? And how can they have conversations with their peers and sometimes even their professors about questions of identity and be able to have a good reason for the hope that they have based on identity and just that we are all made in the image of God and what that really means.
Right. So this conference, and it's going to have a bunch of different topics and themes. Can you share some of those topics that the speakers are going to be addressing?
Yeah, so we have 3 speakers for each of our 2 conferences that we'll be doing. And each speaker is going to bring their own story of identity to the conference and explain that about the way that they wrestled with some questions regarding their identity and the ways that God led them to discover who they really are and the kind of fundamental principles of that which come from the Christian worldview. So I'm really excited to hear the different stories that people have to tell. They're all unique and they're all beautiful, but they're all, very different. And so, coming at it from different struggles in their lives and just realizing who they are as people, like I said, made in God's image. So I'm really excited about that.
Right. Well, speaking of made in God's image, you're actually going to be talking specifically about being made in God's image. Your topic is on Imago Dei. Can you explain what you're going to be unpacking there?
Yeah, this is one of my passion areas. As I've watched the culture change and kind of watched the conversation that people are having about who they are and trying to identify themselves in a particular way. It's really struck me that this is one of the foundational teachings of Christianity. And it's something that we need to understand and we need to help other people to understand it because not just Christians are made in God's image, but everyone is. And, we see that in the beginning of Genesis, that it's laid out very specifically there. And so I'm really passionate about helping people to discover that that is their essential identity and that that's something that cannot change and won't ever change.
I love that. And I really hope that in those conversations, as people are understanding that we're all made in God's image, that there's a deeper empathy and a deeper compassion for people of all different perspectives, that regardless of where they're coming from,
Yes.
That there's definitely a compassion there. So let's talk about those dates. What are the dates of this conference for those who are curious about jumping on?
Yeah, so the first date is April 17th. It's a Saturday, and it will be in the afternoon, I believe between about 1 and 3 p.m. And the second date will be May 15th, also at the same time, and also a Saturday. So hopefully that will be a time where people can, not have to get up too early and kind of enjoy their weekend, but also get to spend a few hours talking about important issues.
And who are some of the speakers who are going to be joining for this conference?
Yes. So we have Hugh Ross. We also have Mary Jo Sharp and Clay Jones. I will be speaking at one of those, and we have also Andy Steiger. So we have a pretty good lineup, I think, of people who have completely different stories, but very compelling stories to tell. And so, yeah, I think it's a good mix of people.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. I think people love stories. They're going to be excited to hear these many different stories at the Identity Conference. So if you would like to attend, go to reasons.org/events and look for the Identity Conference. Thank you again for joining us, Derry.
Thank you, Sandra.